We welcome you into the best podcast available, presented by our friends at Cross Country Mortgage. I'm Jason Gibbs, alongside Andrew Gribble. This is our Rookie Minicamp review and a little bit of Meet the Rookies, as we like to call it, our annual podcast where we showcase a number of the new faces on your 2022 Cleveland Browns. We'll meet Isaiah Thomas coming up here in just a few minutes. Nathan Zgur had a chance to sit down with him. First, though, the guy that was taken at the top of the Browns draft board in the third round at pick number 68, MJ Emerson, cornerback out of Mississippi State. MJ, welcome to Cleveland, and talk a little bit about what your experience has been here so far. You're through Rookie Minicamp. Congratulations. Now you're into the day-to-day grind here at the Cross Country Mortgage campus. How's everything been for you here in the past week?
It's been a great process, man. I'm just soaking everything up, getting to know my rookie class, the coaches, and just trying to learn the system, just trying to get it down pat. But other than that, it's been good. It's been a good transition.
What was it like getting on the field and playing some actual football, I guess, for the first time in months? I know you've been doing a lot of running, a lot of combine type stuff, but how is it to actually start playing football out there?
Oh, man, it feels great. It feels great, because we football players and, there's a lot of things that we have to do, to get to this point. The process was long, but I'm just excited, to get back just playing football. So, I was happy about that.
And you had some nice weather. The weather not too shabby here. At some point later on, about 6 months from now, we may have a different conversation, but the weather pretty good as well. What's been the biggest thing you've learned since you got here to Cleveland?
Biggest thing I learned on the field, you will say?
On the field or off, a piece of advice a coach has given you or something along those lines here in this building.
On the field, just little details, that make you a better football player. Just little techniques and things that I wish I kind of knew early on in my career. But things like that, I wouldn't want to say, what, because I'm just giving out the recipe. But yeah, little things like that. And off the field, just like Cleveland itself, like the culture here, it has a lot of culture, so I like that. I love culture, so.
MJ, who in this rookie class have you kind of already grown close to? Who are you spending the most time with, whether it be in the meeting rooms or just outside of the building here?
Grown close to kind of all of us. Really, we all just we went to a restaurant. I forgot his name. I might say it wrong. Logos or Logos, something like that. But we all went there. We all ate together. Just team bonding. Get to know each other. But all of us really. I can't really just say one person, but yeah, we all just kind of just bonding because we all going through the same thing, so we all just try to be there for each other.
Hey, I get it. Lago, is it on the east bank of the
yeah,
flats?
That's it.
The food is fantastic, man. The food scene here, if you're a big foodie, you will love this town. Lots of great places. Do you have a go-to food? Is there something that you like?
I love seafood, so if you can point me in the right direction, then let me know.
We can do that. We got a couple places I think you might like that we'll talk about off air. So
all right.
Not too shabby at all. You mentioned the coaches, and something I read about in your bio, you spent a lot of time with coaches at Mississippi State, including a guy that played some meaningful snaps in the NFL, in TERRELL BUCKLEY. How did he help prepare you for the next level here that is now the Cleveland Browns in the NFL?
Coach, he just seen the potential in me, and he kind of, helped me be a pro at the college level. He just told me just always doing the little things, from taking care of my body, studying extra film, just all the little things, that make you, that plays a huge role in your performance on the field. So I appreciate him for that because, he's been in my shoes, so he know what it takes.
MJ, you're kind of lauded for your size, your length at the position. Is defensive back and corner a position you always wanted to play when you were growing up and playing football?
Honestly, growing up, I always played quarterback my whole life, for real. I always played quarterback, but in high school, my brother, he graduated maybe like 3 years before me. He played cornerback. He's really good. And my coach, we had a quarterback at the time, and he just, he wanted me to play corner, but I didn't want to, but in high school, my head coach. So he kind of forced me. I was like, Coach, I don't want to play, you know. But I had to build my confidence, you know, and just, you know, get the technique down. But I actually played, like, I want to say I started like the last 6 games. I got my first offer from Mississippi State. So after that, I was kind of stuck with the position. But I'm happy that he did change my position, you know. And I'm just, you know, I fell in love with it ever since then.
I was going to say, I think you played your entire junior year in high school as a DB, and that was like the first, I think maybe the only season that you played every game as a DB in high school. As you were getting ready for college, you had a lot of big schools. Obviously, Mississippi State is what you went with. Miami, Oregon, a few other big names as well lined up. What stood out? What made you choose Mississippi State?
Just, you know, the family vibes, you know, over those 2 years, you know, that was my first offer also. So, and then it wasn't so far away from home. You know, I feel like, you know, they wanted me to be there. So I wanted to go somewhere, you know, that showed interest. You know, I talked to them almost every other day, you know, when I was in high school for those 2 years. So just building that relationship with Coach Buckley and just all those guys, Coach Moorhead, and, you know, it's kind of easy decision, really, you know.
How much of an advantage is it for that defense with the Cowbells there?
A big advantage. A big advantage, man. Opposing teams hate that sound, but, you know, it's kind of working our advantage because defense, you know, we got signals or whatnot, so we always use it on defense. So,
talking with MJ Emerson, the Browns' top pick in the 2022 NFL draft here, part of our rookie minicamp review on the best podcast available. MJ, you played as a true freshman right away in Mississippi State, and obviously you're going to be counted on here right from the get-go. What was the biggest challenge to you playing as a true freshman in arguably one of the top conferences, if not the top conference in college football?
When I was coming in, you know, as a true freshman in high school, it was very simple. Like, the playbook was very simple. You know, we had like maybe 5 plays. We probably had 5 plays that we ran, you know, and it was very simple. You know, we'll roll to a certain way, we'll roll to the passing strength, and that was kind of it. Or we'll play man. We used to play man a lot. So just going to college and just learning, you know, the alerts, the checks, you know, certain formations, what was formation called, little things like that. You know, that was kind of a little difficult, but, you know, you just gotta, you know, lock in and just learn everything. But I would say that was probably the most difficult part. You know, I feel like my physical attributes, I had enough, you know, to go play at the SEC, you know, because I don't never back down from anyone. So, you know, I was ready to play, but, you know, just learning the playbook, really, that was kind of like the only difficult thing.
And in the SEC, I think you got your first start in a game against LSU and Jamar Chase. You'll be seeing him twice a year now in the AFC North. I don't know if you crossed paths with George Pickens, who's on the Steelers now, but clearly you're lining up against a lot of talented guys in the SEC.
I crossed paths with George Pickens. Yeah, I crossed. In 2020, man, we had a good battle, actually.
That's good. And I'm just wondering, how much does that prepare you? I mean, you were facing these guys years ago, and now you're going to be facing this kind of talent in the NFL. How much does that SEC talent prepare you for this?
I feel like we prepared a lot, honestly. You know, week in and week out, we playing, you know, great talent. So, of course, that helped, you know, because iron sharpens iron. But, yeah, it helps. It helps a lot.
MJ, what's the greatest accomplishment? You've won a lot of awards on the field. You've also won a number of accolades off the field. The SEC honor roll, excellent student, 3.5 GPA. You've done a lot in the classroom as well as on the football field. Is there an accolade that you're most proud of?
Maybe not an accolade, but I'm just, you know, just proud, you know, someone like the youth. I'm just someone that the youth can look up to, you know, and use for motivation, you know, like people all around the world, honestly, but in my area too, just showing them that, you know, anything is possible. You put your mind to it. So, I mean, that's not really an accolade, but that's something, you know, I try to pride myself on, like when I'm out or out and about, or I'm in my city or whatnot. Even here, you know, I just, you know, want to be a positive role model for the youth.
MJ, what's been the biggest change in your life since the Browns drafted you? What's been the craziest thing that's happened to you in the last few weeks?
Biggest change. maybe just, when I'm out in public, a lot of people just recognize me, so.
Do you have a roommate at Rookie Minicamp right now, or are you guys rooming solo these days?
I'm solo right now, but I did have a roommate at first.
Okay.
Yeah, we solo now.
Was it one of the other draft picks, or who was your roommate at first?
It was a DB. It was our DB, our nickel, Jolly. Well, he go by Jolly, but Sean. Yeah, it was Sean.
I got you. All right. Before I let you go here, we appreciate the time, and we wish you all the best of luck here in this off season as we get closer to training camp and this season. What role have your parents played in your life? And it sounds like you're very close with your dad and your mom. What factors have they been for you? What role models have they been for you as you develop here?
Well, I grew up with my father, single parent home. My mom, she was in the picture, but she was in and out sometimes. But my father, man, he's always been there for me, showing me tough love and just molding me into the person I am today, and just showing me how to be a man, and just how to live the right way. So yeah, he's been there every step of the way. So I appreciate that from him.
What's the last few weeks been like for them? I mean, for the people in your family after this news and you going to Cleveland, what's that been like for them?
I don't really know, honestly. I don't really know. I mean, I know my pops cried when I got drafted. I didn't even cry, but he ended up crying. But I did break down when I got to Cleveland, though. I did have a little moment to myself. But yeah, my pop was crying and my brother was crying. So I'm pretty sure they're proud of me, honestly. But I don't know. We don't really talk too much about that. So I might have to ask them.
I think we're gonna have to get everybody some winter clothing at some point. If they're coming to see you, the winter coat and the hat and gloves are gonna come into play. So
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna need that.
MJ, we appreciate the time. Congratulations. We wish you nothing but the best. We're looking forward to seeing you in that fantastic DB room and watching you develop here as we get closer to the start of the season. Big things. We're hoping for big things. We're rooting for big things, and we're rooting for you. So best wishes, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's MJ Emerson. And right now, for more from Rookie Minicamp, Nathan Zagura goes one-on-one with new edge rusher Isaiah Thomas.
Very happy now to be joined by one of the newest members of the Cleveland Browns from Oklahoma, defensive end Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah, congratulations. Welcome to Cleveland.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hey, you got a nice day here. The weather is looking good for the Rookie Minicamp. You got some of your teammates here with you. What's this whole process, though, been like for you? Coming out of school, lead your team in sacks each of the last 2 years, 16.5 sacks, team captain at Oklahoma, and then you get to the draft. Did you know the Browns were interested in you in this process?
Well, initially, not really, no. They showed interest at the Combine and at the Senior Bowl, talking to them. They talked about how I fit into their scheme, and, that's also what they touched on when they called me and drafted me. Then, when it came down to them, picking me, they called me and, kind of reiterated what they said at the Combine and at the Senior Bowl. So then, after that, it kind of just hit me like, it's a reality now. And, being here in Cleveland, like you said, it's been lovely so far. Weather, staff, facility. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So you get that call. What kind of went through your mind at that point?
Oh man! First off, my heart was beating fast. Like it's really happening. I believe this is the moment. I looked at the TV, seen the Browns had the next pick, and I was like, wow, like it's here. Then Stefanski got on a Zoom call with me. GM got on there with me as well and told me that I'm look out because they picked me up next. And man, there's tears coming down and whatnot. Really just everything I worked for, just kind of came out at that moment.
Yeah, because it's a dream come true, literally.
It is, yeah, it is a dream come true. And growing up, me being from Tulsa, Oklahoma, not too many people get recognized for their talent, or we don't really get guys coming out like how people from high schools in Texas come out, or
sure.
California and whatnot. So me being one of those guys being recognized, kind of meant a lot to me and my community around Tulsa.
All right, so I have to ask you, did you think when you'd be standing here as a little kid, young Isaiah Thomas, and we'll talk about why you're named Isaiah Thomas in a second, but did young Isaiah Thomas think it would be more likely that he would be doing an interview after getting drafted into the NFL or into the NBA? That's
a great question. Really, initially NBA. Yesterday, even Coach Stefanski had us all name our favorite athletes growing up, and mine was Dwayne Wade. Big time Dwayne Wade fan, and growing up, I was always a taller kid and whatnot. So when I was in elementary school, I'm like, yeah, I'm being in the NBA one day. Play for the Heat, all this and that. Then I kind of filled out a little bit, got a little bigger, and I did football first, and that kind of became my first love. Then middle school, high school, played basketball as well. But football always stood out, and that one just kind of grabbed me to be here where I am today.
All right, so Isaiah Thomas, the name, a familiar one. We've all heard the name Isaiah Thomas before. How did you come to be Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, so my dad, big fan of the Bad Boy Pistons, big fan of
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas. And, he wanted me to be named Isaiah Thomas. And, Isaiah Thomas spells his name a little different than I do, ISIAH. I spell mine with the extra A in there. And him and my mom had a happy medium. Isaiah was in the Bible. My mom went with it. So Isaiah Thomas came about, and now here I am.
And you've never met him?
No, I never met Isaiah Thomas, but he follows me on Twitter, though. He does follow me on Twitter. He actually retweeted my post of mine before when I graduated. So, yeah, he retweeted that. And, I kind of went viral, too, because of his name. During the Last Dance, Michael Jordan's documentary, everyone was, in my DMs, talking crap to me and whatnot, talking about how I'm not as worthy as Jordan. I'm like, man, what is this? And send out a little tweet. The next thing I'm trending the next day.
So people are coming at you as though you are the Isaiah Thomas, and then did you have to send out to be like, look, it's not me. We just have a similar name.
I was replying back to some people during the DMs. Then sent out the tweet. I said people are in my DMs like I was the one beefing with MJ. Then blew up. 100,000 retweets and likes and whatnot. Then it just became like a big joke. Everybody laughing and whatnot. Then people was like looking at my profile like, oh, sorry about that. People replying, I apologize. Didn't mean nothing. It was just funny, though.
It is funny. Well, what I love about that, too, is, though, that you actually come from a family that liked the Bad Boy Pistons. So I'm sure you wanted to defend Isaiah against some of these things that were being said about him.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, man, I like the guy myself. Follows me on Twitter, cool guy and whatnot. And just by seeing how he is on, TV, NBA TV and whatnot, I'm like, let me have this guy's back, replying to people like, no, it's not me. But then again, I'm like, he's a great guy also. So, don't give him too hard of a time. But, yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, let's go back to high school. Multi-sport athletes,
Right.
Played both ways, football, power forward and basketball, won a state championship, if
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not mistaken. All right, so let's start with football. Tight end, caught 7 touchdowns, something like that?
In my senior year, I scored several touchdowns. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, my senior year I did. So football and basketball. So, football and basketball. Then in basketball, I played the 4. High school, I played O-line a little bit my freshman and sophomore year. Then, as I got older, we had some more guys come in, so coach let me play some tight end and receiver. Senior year, scored a handful of, I want to say it was around 5 or so, but, got some touchdowns and then, kind of led me to being, noticed in football as far as D1 attention. Coaches liked how I was, lengthy and size, so really came about, both sports really, helped me out to be an athlete.
Did you think when you went to college, did you know for sure you were going to be a defensive guy, or were there some people who were looking at you as a tight end as well?
Definitely for a defensive guy.
Okay.
Growing up, I always played defensive end. I always did. At some form of facet on the D-line. And, going into high school and college as well, it was the same thing. Coaches always asked, like, did you ever want to play receiver? I was like, nah, I know I'm pretty good at defensive end. So, they all recruited me for defensive end.
You know how to get to the quarterback. 16.5 sacks the last 2 years, 8 and 8.5 there at Oklahoma. What do you love about getting after the quarterback, and what makes you so good at it? I
say really what makes me so good at it, and it's not even an on-the-field thing, I think it just comes natural as a sense because, well, I wouldn't even say that because I know I worked hard to get to where I am, I had to put in a lot of hours and whatnot, but I say other than, like, the physical talent and hard work, I say it's just my mindset, mentally, knowing what I had and didn't have growing up, seeing my family sacrifice so much for me to be where I am today, I think that's what motivates me and, keeps me disciplined as far as why I'm so good at what I do and what got me here now.
So that's kind of your why.
Oh, yes, most definitely. Yeah, definitely got some people I could pinpoint, but in the whole, my family and, some of my close friends for sure, the reason I do this for.
What's it like to get to come here with one of them? I'm guessing your close friend. You guys were at least on a D-line together with Mr. Perrion Winfrey, who is what a personality on that guy. But that's got to be cool to kind of have that continuity. And your other teammate, Nick Benito, gets drafted in this one as well. So right off that defensive line, a lot of talent going to the NFL. But 2 of you guys coming right here to Cleveland. Yeah,
it's pretty cool being with Perrion. Like in college, we definitely complemented each other very well. His first season was in that 2020 season, and then that 2020 season is when I came, into myself. Then we worked well together. He played some D tackle and nose. I played a little bit of both as well. So us learning the playbook together, working off each other, in games, our competitive nature is just second to none. And also just us always giving each other tidbits on what to do, what not to do, giving each other tidbits on what the offensive line has and tendencies and whatnot. So we feed off each other very well.
When he's giving those tidbits, is he screaming them at you? Is he
oh my gosh.
Get to the outside, dog. We're going to kill these guys. It's over.
Yeah, sometimes he's so passionate to the point where he's giving it away. He's on the field, hey, I'm going to be gap. Cover me. I'm like, hey, first of all, he heard you. I'm like, first of all, now we got to run something else. But yeah, he's passionate. He loves the game, and I think that he definitely feeds off of everyone else, and they definitely feed off him, if anything.
There's no doubt. I mean, his interview, like I said, this is my 10th season here with the team. I've talked to every rookie after they've been drafted, every single one.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like Perrion Winfrey.
It was the same at Oklahoma too. Like his first year, even before he made a name for himself and whatnot, he was confident on who he was, what he was going to do. He came in with the energy and swagger that he came in with the interview like when he got drafted. just like now, he hasn't done what he's wanted to do yet, obviously, because he hasn't had the chance to show it. But he's determined and he shows that. And he'll let you know, and I'm definitely confident that he'll do it.
So when you were at Oklahoma, obviously the Browns were very much on the radar of Oklahoma Sooners fans. Baker Mayfield was here as the quarterback. So was it a team that maybe you were more aware of than you would have been otherwise before you got drafted? You're like, oh, I know about the Browns. I'm going to the Browns.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely know a lot about this team. Ever since, obviously, they have guys at my position, that's had success here. Obviously in recency with Myles Garrett, other defensive players, Olivia Vernon and, Jadeveon and whatnot. Then also having Baker Mayfield as well. Oklahoma actually gets a lot of the Browns games. I want to say probably every Sunday we get every game almost. And so I'm really familiar with the Browns offense and defense, what they do and who they have. So definitely when it came about to the draft process and that happened, I was like, oh yeah, know the guys there. Jacob Phillips also at linebacker, really close with him actually. Played in high school All-American game with him. So another good close friend of mine who I can also pick his brain when he gets here.
By the way, he's a tremendous dunker of the basketball.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They had a dunk contest last year here with some of the guys, and he won it going away. So I'm sure you can get up there. Can you throw it down pretty good?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. I don't know who's the reigning dunk contest champion, but still today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Jacob, I'll see you soon then, Jacob. I'll see you soon, yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave you with this one. I've really enjoyed talking with you, but is there one thing you want Browns fans to know about you that maybe they don't know? Something that you want them, when they see Isaiah Thomas, they see that name on the back, you want that in their mind?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of Isaiah Thomases, and a couple, famous ones and whatnot, but, when it comes to football, there's only one of me. I don't think you can, replicate or duplicate what I do out there on the field. And, you're going to see a lot of guys, you're going to see a lot of energy and passion with me, despite where I'm at, special teams, defense, whenever I get in. So you'll see that guy out there and definitely giving that love and passion.
Well, it was great talking with you. Best of luck. Welcome to the Browns.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks to Nathan Zagura and Isaiah Thomas for a great interview off the field there at Rookie Minicamp. Also, thanks to MJ Emerson for his time as well, the Browns' top pick in this year's NFL draft. Gribbs, we've had the conversation. Rookie Minicamp, not really what it used to be when you literally had an entire roster show up for Rookie Minicamp. Now it's more one-on-one and individual training and individual learning as our coaches try to figure out what they have in these new draft picks.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things that you stumbled on during the pandemic that actually turned into be something you like doing. And I think that's what happened with the Browns last year, where they only were able to bring in a couple tryout guys for Rookie Minicamp last year, and they raved about how great it was to get all this one-on-one time with their rookies. I remember James Hudson was the only offensive lineman on the entire field getting to work with Bill Callahan. And I think that you get that kind of individual tutelage and it doesn't overwhelm the guys when they're coming in. I think the coaches like it. I think the players like it when we hear from them about it's kind of a good way to kind of slowly break them in so that they're not totally swimming and overwhelmed when they get on the field for OTAs. And then you throw in the fact that you do a lot of work to bring in those tryout guys that, almost all of them are not going to be here. But then again, we have the story this week of Felix Harper, a tryout guy that was brought in because you needed a quarterback, and now he's on the team. So, I mean, there are these diamonds in the rough. So I think it's a much more targeted approach with some of these tryout players than maybe just getting enough people so you can run a practice.
Yeah, I think Chad O'Shea might have been the busiest. I think he had 4 guys. So in terms of his weekend, he was probably the busiest out of all the position coaches. We shift our attention and the vets are off this week. It's a rare off week in the middle of the off season, in the heart of the off season. Phase 1 is done. Phase 2 is done. And the rookies get an entire week to get under their belts in addition to Rookie Minicamp before the vets come back next week and OTAs start. There will be 10 OTAs. It's 3 weeks of OTAs and then mandatory minicamp. And then everybody's dismissed for the next 6 weeks before training camp officially kicks off the 2022 season. It is moving fast, Gribbs, but still a lot of work here to be done in the off season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see to get all the guys back on the field. Your first kind of, I know we had guys in and out last year for OTAs. It looks like you're going to have a full squad or something close to it when the Browns get back on the field for OTAs, whether it be Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure on the specific date that we get on the field, but yeah, it'll be good to see guys mixed in and out. I think there's this rookie class. I think they're going to fill some key depth spots on this team. Maybe none of these guys are going to be forced into some major roles right away, but we'll see where they can make their impact. And the earlier, the better for some of these guys.
Yeah, and it will be interesting because, again, with OTAs, it is voluntary. The vets don't have to report. Now, the Browns have had a great turnout for phase 1 and phase 2 so far, but now we start really amping up toward that 3-day mandatory mini camp at the middle part of June. And it will be fascinating to see who comes and who's here. And now the offensive guys are getting away for a weekend, even though the vets are technically off. It is not off, as a lot of the offensive players, led by quarterback Deshaun Watson, headed to the Bahamas. We were not invited, Jeff. We were not invited either. But they will be in the Bahamas getting some work in. But more importantly, it's that team building. And this is the time of year where you want to see that. And that's where teams start to come together just from a player standpoint. And it promises to be one of those trips that we've heard about. And Deshaun Watson spearheading it here for the offense.
Gibbs, I think we need a BPA team bonding excursion to the Bahamas. I think we could use it. It would bring us together more. I think we just have to figure out a way to expense it.
I mean, we can go to Kelly's Island. I don't have to go all the way to the Bahamas. Like I go to Florida. I can go somewhere a little cheaper. Like our master of travel, Deb, can handle that, I think, for us. It would work out quite swimmingly. We'll bring McDaniel with us. Zagura, we'll see what happens. He's
we can have some great Zoom backgrounds next week while we're out.
Yeah, exactly.
By the pool.
All right. Thanks to MJ Emerson for his time. Thanks to Isaiah Thomas for his time. Thanks to Nathan Zagura for his help, along with Jeff McDaniel and Anthony Bacco as well. We are back next week. Dane Brugler coming back to talk about this rookie class. Now that we've got a few weeks with them, and we'll get his thoughts on the rookie class and the next steps for this football team as it pertains to maybe even the 2023 NFL draft. So we're looking forward to having him join us as well. The OTAs will be back, and we'll start to recap those as well. You can like and subscribe today to the best podcast available, wherever you get your podcast. Like and subscribe today to the best podcast available. Check us out on YouTube as well, youtube.com/Browns. For Andrew Gribble, I'm Jason Gibbs. We're back with you next week. This has been the best podcast available, presented by our great friends at Cross Country Mortgage.